Hey, what is up, everybody? So I'm not going to make these videos every day. It's just there's been so much stuff going on that I've been making them as I'm doing workings, and there's a lot of workings at this point in my life, right? Today, I want to talk about The Magical Cash Book by Damon Brand, and also some different rituals I'm doing, and then owning your shadow, because these are all things that are surfacing in my life, right? So I think it's important to put all of that in context. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Happy to elaborate. Happy to help, maybe is what I was trying to say. I don't even fucking know, dude. Anyhow, let's get into these slides. So what I've done so far today, if you can't tell, I am exhausted. I slept like shit. Drank coffee later than I should have. Wild life as you get closer to 40. Coffee is like doing coke. Like, don't do drugs anymore. Coffee kept me up. And then also there is some stress issues, which I'll cover in the next slide. But I'm running on empty, but I still showed up and did my stuff. One of the things that I did was I got the Magical Cash Book. I'm going to hold it up again. And look, I approach all magic from the standpoint of an open mind, like skepticism in the traditional sense of I'm going to see what happens. And with the money thing, when I first got this book a couple months ago, I was doing pretty decent financially, so I didn't necessarily need to worry about it as much. There's been a lot of shifts and different things going on, and with moving to a house and things with business, I'm a little bit strapped, so now I'm in a position of needing it, right? And one of the big statements I like about magic is it's for the people that have nothing to lose and the people that have everything to lose. And it always seems like at these pain points, when it's like a necessity, I tend to gravitate back towards it. I actually want to grab the book that I made, because you're supposed to make your own magical cash book. I just want to show it because it's kind of cool. I just don't know where the hell I put it. There it is. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the main view, and then I'll get into everything else. So this is the book. So it looks ghetto as hell because there's duct tape on it. You're supposed to make it silver, put this sigil on it, and then you're supposed to paint this orange and put this sigil on it. I just got duct tape. Like, I did it super ghetto. But I went through that whole process of starting it, and it's like 11 days going forward. I have to kind of re-put intent in it. I had made the book ahead of time because it was kind of a pain in the ass, and then I had waited till I needed it. Anyhow, that's one of the things I did today. I've been working with a couple different goddesses and gods, calling on their energy, or the archetype, which is really how I see it more so. Calling on the archetype to help with zoning stuff, because I'm moving to a house. I want to set up a physical shop in the house, and I need to have the zoning board approve it. Shouldn't be a problem. It also doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't hurt to put a little bit of extra intention out there. One of the cool ways that I really like to look at magic is probability enhancement. And for many things, if you can up the probability by 1 or 2%, well, it's really small, like number wise, that 1 or 2% can have a big shift. And the more effective you get at leveraging those smaller percentages, in my experience, the easier it is to leverage larger ones. But anyhow, that was the other thing that I did. And then I just did general workings. Like, one of the things that I normally do every day is planetary prayers, meditation, all of that stuff. I think I covered it yesterday. I did all that, but I'm going to get into the next slide and explain this. I also had an experience last night where I had somebody throw up a lot of shit that was like really fucking painful for me, because they were a dickhead, and I basically explained to them how their behavior was impacting other people, and they weren't mature enough to understand that they were problematic, and their response was to attack me. They came to me asking what a problem was with somebody else. I had explained what the problem was, and then they were problematic. Like, it goes into the story of the scorpion and the frog. I was the frog, and I knew that this person was a dick before engaging in it, and I was trying to be helpful, and then they acted like a dick, and I acted shocked. This was me overstepping my own boundaries. That's one of the points I want to make, is don't overstep your own boundaries. And then we're going to move into owning your shadow. But because I've owned my shadow, and literally everything they threw at me, I've already made peace with, and it doesn't fuck with me or rent space in my head anymore. I'm still like energetically upset about the experience, just because I have neurological conditions, and anger is something that takes a while for me, my body to not process. But like, I'm not in a fucked up emotional space about it, and it's from owning my shadow. It's potent medicine for situations like that. And additionally, like, it's really hard to doubt yourself when you've integrated and owned your past, right? Like when you accept yourself on a deep level. And that's even how it is the protective tool. When you own your entire experience, people really can't use it against you anymore. Especially if you're not living in that anymore. Like, facing it and making peace with it, or doing what's called like a recapitulation, like piecing your life together piece by piece and making a cohesive narrative, and then making changes based upon that narrative. Magical. That leads to the deep healing. And then I have Ichigo from Bleach here, because in terms of like shadow work, Ichigo from Bleach is the ultimate pimp. If you're not familiar with the show, basically he has what's called like hollow power, and hollows are these kind of evil entities. He learns to channel it for the protection of his friends and family, and as like a very, very powerful, useful tool. And so much of how I focus on my magical practice is predicated on that same premise of learning to harness the darkness and the challenges that we face in life in a positive energy. And that's really kind of how I want to end everything. Despite somebody literally bringing up the most painful aspects of my personal journey, I'm good, because I understand that is like, they weren't wrong in saying that like my past was fucked up, because it was, but they're also really wrong on what that actually means about now, and it says way more about who they are than it says about me. And part of the reason I'm saying this is for me. Part of that too, though, is somebody else might need to hear that. Like, you're not defined by your past unless you don't accept it. Accept what happened and make changes. And obviously there's certain instances where that may not be the case. Use your own discretion on that. But anyhow, I don't want to ramble. I just wanted to make this, share it with you. And as I go get ready to start doing more magic with the house, I'll kind of recap all of that as I go, and we'll see where we end up. All right, people. Peace.